Hi there, English 112 folks, and welcome to the first week of the fall term. Welcome, welcome, and I'm so glad to have you all here with me today. And we are journeying through the next phase of your first year composition courses. And so we are now embarking on English 112, which is writing and research in the disciplines. And so if you successfully completed 111, then some of the things that you probably worked on is basic composition skills, research skills, MLA. So we're going to kind of take some of those skills that you learned in 111, and we're going to start applying them to bigger, broader concepts, and then also to applying them across disciplines. Now, this is English 112, so make sure that you're in the right course. And my name is Ariel Robinson, and I'll be your professor. And so if you got my message last week, then you may have had a chance to start orienting to the course. And so you've had access to getting started and the course overview. And so if you haven't had a chance, just please go through the welcome letter that kind of gives you a breakdown of some of the big items. And I'm going to address those here in a moment. Especially about our AI use policy. And then take some time to acclimate yourself to the day-by-day schedule and then also to the syllabus. And in the syllabus, it has some language about the grading, but it also has like all of the policies regarding class attendance, since it is an asynchronous course, and disability resources, etc. And so this is kind of like your go-to document. And but after you've had a chance to go through that, and then also once you've had a chance to take a look at the syllabus, you're probably going to dig right into week one. Now, in week one, the first goal of week one is, of course, to orient to our course. And so, watching the welcome video, which is this, it's just kind of a way to see my face, hear my voice, know that I'm a human being. And since we're asynchronous and we're learning like really, hard concepts, not face to face, it does present a unique set of challenges. And so, some things that you'll learn and adapt to in my class is that I build in a lot of opportunities for collaboration and discussion in an asynchronous format. Um, you can expect to like read and annotate texts with your classmates and kind of see what their thought process is, engage in online discussions, work with classmates on projects. And I know that there are unique challenges to that, but just because you're online doesn't mean that you should exist in a silo. And so I want you to have the opportunity to work together, even if you are, working from your home, or if you are, sitting in the library one day. Um, Asynchronous courses can be just as fulfilling as in-person classes. All right. So, a couple things that you're going to be going through is I want you to ignore the one-page paper because I actually have a different format for that. What I want you to go through is look at the day-by-day schedule, which is kind of like a to-do list. Um, I'm not saying that it's going to stay exactly that way, but it gives you a pretty good idea of the structure of the class. And then I have a little guide to thrive here on how to be successful in my course. Um, and then what's really important here in the guide to thrive, as well as the AI policy, is just basically how to navigate asynchronous courses in a way that you can get the most out of it. So communicating with me is really important, um, and emailing me when you have questions after reading the instructions fully. Like if you are just like, what do I need to do with this assignment, and you haven't read the instructions, well, that's the first problem, right? But like if you read them and you don't understand and you want clarification, like I'm here for you. And that is and I am facilitating a lot of online conversations. So there are places where you can ask for clarification from your peers, and I do encourage you to do so. I want you to understand that this is an asynchronous course, but it's also first year composition. So there are some really important things that have to be established in regards to like your behavior, right, in an online forum. So if you log in and just do a couple of checklist items now and then does not equal full participation in the course. I expect, even though there are going to be some things that are complete or incomplete, which we'll talk about soon, I want you to really think about like how much are you like growing, learning, questioning, reading. What you put in is what you're going to get out. And if you put in very minimal effort, you will get out very minimal result. And that also will equate to your grade. So I I want to see that you are really thinking through the concepts, and that you're not relying on Chat GPT, and you are not just logging in, putting in something that's half baked and then expecting full credit. Like I do expect that you're going to engage in college level rigor in the course. Um, but use a planner, know that readings and major assignments, like just submit everything. So just make sure that you are always giving it your best, even if you are struggling with anything. Okay. So kind of moving along, the next thing I wanted to just share with you that's like a highlight is the AI policy. You've probably seen some different AI policies that have kind of come out lately. I have a pretty easy one to read. It's got basic concepts on it, but I've got an acceptable use document here. But then I kind of give you my overview of the policy, which is basically I'm not going to forbid you from using AI. I'm also not going to encourage it. There's lots of environmental factors at play. It does steal from like billions and billions of web pages of other people's work. Here's the thing. AI is a tool just like anything else. Just like the internet's a tool, Wikipedia is a tool, everything's a tool. Use it ethically and use it responsibly, i.e., your brain is better than any computer. If you feed it my prompts and have it spit out a forum post, I'm going to be able to tell. And it's not saying that like what you did is wrong. Here's the thing is that I would rather see how you are interacting with the text and what you are seeing than what the computer's saying. I can put my prompt into Chat GPT and have the same exact response that you put in and have it feed out. So here's the thing. Use it as a tool, use it to organize, use it to brainstorm, use it to help you find sources, but do not use it to do the thinking for you, because then it is absolutely not going to one, get you where you need to go, nor two, get you the tools needed to be successful in the course. Okay, so there are some academic integrity issues at play with AI, including like a meeting with me where you have to explain your choices. So just be very mindful about how you use AI and when you try to engage in it, because I would rather see your thoughts on there than any computer anytime. Okay. And so moving along, because I want to make sure that our video is just not crazy long. Um, but what I want to make sure is clear is also grading and assessment. And so you're going to encounter things that might look a little different than some classes, but I think that for the most part, it's fair. It's pretty fair. I have a bit of a mixed standards-based grading approach. So I have completion activities, and then I have core activities. So core activities are going to be the ones that assess your understanding of content course materials like rhetoric, presentation skills, research papers, those big assignments. And then you've got your completion assignments, and that's going to be like your forum posts and your workshops and your day-to-day activities. Those will be marked as incomplete or complete. The only grades that you're going to get on a 100-point scale is going to be your core assignments. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is I hate late work. I hate it with every fiber of my being. We all have things that pop up in our lives, um, but late work is something that, as a college student, you need to learn how to manage and assess your time better. So if you turn something in late, like it might technically be complete, but the quality of which is what I'm really going to be giving you feedback on. And so we're building knowledge, we're making meaning, we're assessing our skills. But then when we get to those core assignments, that's where we get to put it into practice. So um, I do expect active participation, not using AI on forum posts, but those things will be marked as complete or incomplete. If you're excessively late on assignments, there will not be a way to get above a B in the class just because you can't accurately assess progression of your knowledge. I can't assess that unless you are meeting timelines. So timelines are very important. Life happens. Talk to me ahead of time. We will make arrangements, but please do not just disappear and then expect to to get through an A in the last couple weeks. It's just not how it's going to work. Okay, so the last couple of things to just kind of bring up is that you've got some core assignments that are listed here. That gives you a little bit of an overview. You've got a narrative essay, you've got a multimodal piece that has a rhetorical précis, a collaborative writing project, a presentation, and then you have your proctored final exam that will be on HCC campus. And so I'll be sending out information about that pretty soon. So just make sure that you keep a lookout on that and you can go ahead and schedule it for a time that you want. Um, oh, boop, boop, boop. That is my bad. I need to actually take that off. I apologize. Your final exam is actually going to be a researched argument in my class because you don't have a proctored final exam. So I apologize. Forget about that. But I don't want to re-record this whole thing. Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to bring up for today, and then I'm going to just like wait and see what lovely things you bring to the table. Um, Sign up for your presentation. You're going to have presentations in the last few weeks of class. You don't necessarily have all of the information in the presentation yet, and that is okay. Really, you just need to put your name, which is more about preference of when you present. And then I've got some drop down options that are generalized categories for your rhetoric topics, but those are not set in stone. These are just general ideas of categories. And so mostly I want you to really select the time. But if you want to go into a little bit more detail and start brainstorming your presentation now, that is totally fine as well. I'll have those details up soon. Okay. So in order not to go forever and a day, here are the tasks for the week. And I am so looking forward to seeing what all of you have to say. I love getting to know my students every year. Okay, so there is a reading for this week. It is a PDF annotation called AI is Eroding Critical Thinking. And so that is a live collaborative PDF annotation with your peers. And then you're going to do a video recording introducing yourselves. And then the last assessment of the week is that I'm having a syllabus AI and assessment quiz just to make sure that you've read it and you understand the guidelines of the course. So have a wonderful week, and I look forward to this lovely semester with all of you and learning and growing and collaborating and researching and all those wonderful things. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later. Bye.